Blackness. Just like last time. Unlike last time, though, there's a spot of flickering light in the distance. The fire. Everything's quiet right now. No drum beat, but the darkness is unnatural. It's inky and thick, like it's alive. I get the unnerving feeling that it's trying to eat the light from the fire. Maybe towards the fire? Jenna suddenly steps forward and, just like that, she's swallowed up by the darkness. Jenna, wait! She ignores me. Carl gives his shoulders another shrug.
Well, if she is being, persuaded, I guess she probably knows where she's going.
I see her form pass in front of the firelight a few times. Then she's gone.
Alright, here we go.
Despite his nervousness, Raven still sounds cheerful about stepping into oblivion.
You ready, dude?
I look over at Carl, and he's gazing at me. He's gazing back at me warmly, an encouraging smile on his face.
Dude, I'm reaching my limits too. If we have to do another place like this...
His ears droop, looking almost defeated. I nod, swallowing as quietly as I can. He pulls me into his side, into his side by my hand and wraps my arms around his shoulders.
Just stay close, okay?
Yeah. I step forward with him, and immediately we're immersed in blackness. Not only do things go dark visually, but the change is physical too. I don't know if it's all in my head, but I feel heavier, like the darkness is pushing down on my shoulders. It's colder too, to the point where I can feel the heat radiating off of Carl's body when I push up against him.
Doing okay, man?
Yeah. You?
Yeah, I'm good.
The going is slow, and not just because of my injured, probably broken, ankle. The ground is uneven and rocky, like we're outside walking in the desert. Which I realize is exactly what we were doing when we walk straight into what feels like sagebrush. Carl thrashes around with the hand not holding on to me, and we're able to sort of stumble around it. Where the hell are we? I mutter as I stub my toe painfully on a rock.
Outside?
Yeah, but where outside?
The desert, right?
So, do you think that we're still in Echo? Carl is quiet for a moment.
Maybe, but not really. I mean, I don't think we can just walk to our houses.
I wonder if maybe all the others, TJ, Leo, and Flynn, are out here too, in the darkness. I want to call out, but I'm too nervous that's going to attract something to us. I still remember the black figure dancing around the fireplace we're walking towards at this very moment. We're close enough now that I'm starting to be able to make out Carl in the darkness. I look back at the base of the house to see how far we've gone. All that I can make out now are two rectangles of light. One for the door we came out of, and the other for the kitchen window. In the latter, a dark figure stands framed by the faint light inside. I squint, not really sure what I'm seeing. Then it moves, disappearing from the window. I stop walking and Carl stops with me, looking back over his shoulders.
What?
I don't... Did one of the others go back? The black figure appears again, this time in the doorway of the house. I don't even have time to react before it steps forward, and the door swings shut with a distant snap. Oppressive darkness takes its place. I grab on the Carl more tightly.
What the hell?
My mind flashes back to the black thing I'd seen crawling out of the wardrobe. Come on! I nudged into Carl's side, trying to get him to hurry along, while resisting the urge to try and run on my twisted ankle. I'm realizing that it might come to that. Raven! Jenna! I call out into the darkness ahead of us, wanting to warn them. Over our ragged breathing, though, there's a dead silence all around us, except for a drum beat. Either way, they can't hear us, or they can't respond. Carl's gripping onto me with both his hands, practically hauling me off my feet as he pulls me along. Suddenly he stops.
What the fuck am I doing?
He lets me go and crouches down in front of me.
On my back!
I'm there before he even finishes the sentence, and soon my face is bouncing off his hard skull as he starts sprinting towards the fire. Ooh, ee, ah, ooh, ee, ah, ooh, ee.
Ow, ooh, ah. It's like a Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Men in tights.
He's riding upside down.
He's riding upside. Ooh, ow, find the big rocks.
Whether it's in my head or not, I swear I can hear a slithering sound behind me, like a snake sliding over dry leaves. I shiver, not wanting to look back, but I do anyway, trying to peer into the darkness. Of course, I can't see anything, but I swear something flashes in front of the lone rectangle of light coming from the kitchen's window. The rustling sound getting louder. The rustling sound's getting louder, and now I can't pretend that I'm imagining it. It casts a picture into my mind. That black shadow creature contorting and bending through the sagebrush that Carl was having so much trouble moving through. I hold on to one of his horns and lean towards his ear. Carl, it's getting close. And then my stomach lurches as it feels like the floor just suddenly drops away. Next thing I know, my nose smacks hard into the back of Carl's head before I flip over, landing on my back in what feels like a sea of sharp rocks. I lay there for a second, dazed, staring at the black ocean above me, wondering if any of this is real. Am I still dreaming? Maybe I'll just wake up in my dorm, probably late to my legal and ethics issues in journalism class.
Fuck! Are you okay?
A muffled voice breaks through my haze of confusion and pain. Then I'm being yanked back up as Carl pulls me back to my feet and clumsily shoves me back onto his back.
Sorry.
Fine. I can barely mumble through my numb mouth, which feels like it's full of pennies. I can see I'm making dark stains on the back of Carl's shirt. It feels like my face is caved in. I wonder if my nose is broken, but the fear of the pursuit is returning, and I quickly clutch at Carl's horns before he resumes his sprint. He finally comes stumbling to a halt in front of the massive bonfire, which had looked so small from the cabin. We both stare up at it, the heat almost unbearable.
Um,
The whispers behind me reach a crescendo, the hissing just over my shoulder. What are we supposed to do? My voice raises in pitch as I look behind us, the black shape now discernible in the firelight as it slithers around the rocks and sagebrush. It's like a person imitating a snake. I grip onto Carl as he turns to face it, then takes a step back, then another.
I don't know.
I cling to the ram, and I feel him trembling underneath me. As the creature reaches the edge of the circle of firelight, Carl turns and starts running past the fire. And then my muscles seize up, my jaw clenches, my eyes roll back, and I feel myself falling backwards. The heat is almost unbearable, and my fur is damp from sweat. The skin underneath itching and uncomfortable. I can feel the sun on my face, the brightness turning the insides of my eyelids a dazzling red. I don't want to open them, though. No. I just want to sleep. I almost do fall asleep, but a distant chorus of shouts and screams jolts me back awake. Now I do open my eyes, but I can't. I do try to open my eyes, but I can't. It's like they're glued shut. I reach up to paw at them, but my arms won't lift. I must be dreaming, stuck in a paralysis. So I lay there, listening to the shouting and screaming, imagining an angry mob. After what seems like hours, the voices fade and the red turns deeper, darker, blood-like, as if the sun is setting. That's when I can finally drift away, back to sleep. A soft, choking moan brings me back to the surface. I'm still hot and sweaty, but the blazing sun isn't shining in my face anymore. I wiggle my fingers and shift my arms a bit, feeling them glide over fabric. At least I'm not paralyzed anymore. Another moan, followed by a coughing sound, forces me to open my eyes, realizing it's not a part of a dream. I stare up at the ceiling, a textured beige ceiling. I'm back in the room where I'd slept. How many hours ago? A day? A few days? Hello everyone, welcome back, and I'm Muir. You can catch me on Muir on YouTube, Twitch, Blue Sky. Who uses X anymore? I mean, unless you're really trying to build your arm muscles, right? And, what about you, Tats?
Yes, I am Tats on, Discord. Also, Terry Candlestick on YouTube and Blue Sky. It's the only places. I stopped using Facebook. Deleted my Facebook, deleted my X, because both of those are kind of just cesspools now. Blue Sky, still nice. Still good, folks. So, yes, you find me as Terry Candlestick on both YouTube and Blue Sky.
You heard it there. You heard it here, folks. X has become a cesspool of all kinds of things.
All kinds of things. Things that might get us demonetized.
We just need to practice. Like you go on X, and suddenly you can feel this arm muscle here. That one get a lot stronger all of a sudden for some weird reason. It's that one weird trick. All right, sounds good. Let's go ahead and jump back into Echo, shall we?
Let's go.
It's one of those things you can always tell an X user. Like, when it's a young guy, like his forearms are hyper-developed for some reason. He sort of looks like Popeye. He's really happy all the time. Then you go to X, and this guy, he has like his upper shoulder is super hyper-developed for some reason. And also the top of his arms are really developed. You don't really know why. These top ones that let you extend your fingers out, that one's really hyper-developed for some reason. He also likes slapping his chest a lot. I don't know why. And taking his car bread. All right, let's go. All right, into Eka. It doesn't matter because everything comes back to me at once. I feel like a lead weight has just dropped onto my chest, knocking the wind out of me. Fuck. This is not over. I'm starting to become convinced that this is never going to end. We're stuck in a loop, just like in my dreams. Another moan, slightly weaker, makes me sit up and look around the room. I'm alone as far as I can tell. Where are the others? Am I actually alone? Can't stop a soft whimper coming from my mouth, the thought of being separated from the others. I was barely keeping it together with Carl, but without him. A loud cough through the walls behind me makes me jump again. I quickly slide off the bed and immediately cringe as my weight comes to rest on my swollen ankle. I sag against the bed for a moment, squinting my eyes shut as I wonder why my ankle is only getting stiffer. Maybe that fall Carl had taken made it even worse. The thought that those moans could be coming from Carl spurns me to straighten up and carefully hop towards the door. I have to stifle a short yelp with every bounce, and by the time I reach the door frame, I have to lean against it to catch my breath. My hands shake as I rub my eyes, the pain making me wonder if I'll ever be able to walk without a limp again. Another groan from the room next to me forces me to move again. In the hallway, I'm able to make out the sound a bit better and realize it has a feminine quality to it. Jenna? My voice comes out as a crackly squeak, and I grunt to clear my throat. Jenna? I try again and wait, but I get no response in return. I force myself to step into the hallway, clinging to the wall for support. When I look down the hall to the door next to mine, I find something very familiar. A damaged wooden door. The middle bulging and splintered out as if something had hit it from the other side. Memories of a bad smell, a dark, concrete room, and a noose. I hold tighter to the doorframe, feeling my knees tremble, both from the pain and the fear. I look behind me, hoping to see Carl, maybe even Raven. A shuffling sound, followed by another cough and gurgle, draws my eyes back to the door. If it's Jenna, I have to act now. I steady myself against the wall as I hop slowly to the door, eyes watering with the pain now. Reaching out with a shaking hand, I start to slowly push at the door. I'm hoping that I might be able to crack it open just a little bit and not draw the attention of whatever is inside. The door only shifts a little, though, and seems to catch on the ground beneath it. It lets out a rough, scratching sound that makes my fur raise up. Gritting my teeth, I forgo the stealthy approach and give it a hard shove. This time it opens halfway and I'm able to see into the room. Just like last time, there's no light coming from within the room itself. Instead, I have to rely on the dim yellow light coming from the hallway. It casts a widening band of light into the concrete room as the door opens. The smell hits me like a wave and I immediately gag, doubling over and pressing my hand to my nose before pulling up the neck of my shirt over my nose. Sure, I smell like BO from 2 days of running in fear, but it's better than the sweet smell of rotting meat that's enveloping me. Still shaking, I peer into the room while I lean against the door, but I'm only able to see the cracked concrete floor and walls. The grunting, choking sounds reach a peak now, and it's coming from beyond the band of light. It's an inky blackness that isn't all that different from what Carl and I had run through. Hello? No response. It sounds like grunting, like the grunting has stopped, too. Shit. I have to do something now. I think about just kicking the door open and jumping back, but then I remember there is really nothing I can do with my feet right now. Taking a deep breath, I set both hands against the door. I steel myself for whatever I'm about to see, then shove the door as hard as I can. The door swings in suddenly, scraping horribly against the floor the entire way. I yelp at the suddenness of it all, the tension all exploding out of me at once as I jump back in fear. The band of light widens, sweeping over the entirety of the concrete room before the door finally lodges against the wall with a snapping sound. I almost lose my balance, arms swinging around cartoonishly as I try to hop on one foot. At the same time, I'm fearfully eyeing the opening, terrified of what I'm about to see. And what I do see is definitely terrifying. It's Jenna, in the middle of the room. She's hanging from the noose, her muzzle tilted up so I'm able to clearly see the rope digging into the fur around her neck, painfully tight. Her toes are barely touching the floor, but it doesn't even look like she's trying to keep herself up. It looks like she's unconscious. Jenna! There's no response, and I find myself leaping in her direction. I forget about my ankle until all my weight comes down on it twice in my mad dash, and I literally scream as it happens. There isn't any time to worry about it, though, as I grabbed at Jenna, unsure of what to do. First, I try to wrap my arms around her and lift her up, screaming again as I set my weight down on my foot. She doesn't respond to any of this and just hangs limp in my arms, which terrifies me even more. I reach up and pluck uselessly at the hangman's knot that I immediately know isn't going to budge no matter how much I pull. Carl! Carl, help! I feel myself starting to panic. Desperately, I look around, trying to find something, anything I might be able to use to cut at the rope. Jenna? I call up at her. I can see her eyes from this angle, but I can't feel any movement in her. I try to press my ear against her chest, but I'm not sure if I'm doing it at the right spot. I try to quiet my breathing and actually listen, but I still can't hear anything. Shit! Carl! I feel myself start to hyperventilate and try again to slow my breathing. If I pass out right now, I'm going to be less help than I already am. The world is starting to take on a surreal tint, and I think I'm actually dreaming. I think about running to the kitchen, but I don't want to let her go, especially since I feel like she's on the edge of dying right now. I reach up again and start trying to worm my fingers underneath the rope, but it's useless. It's way too tight. My eyes start to water as I realize I'm not helping her at all right now, and that I'm not helping her at all right now, aside from maybe taking a little pressure off her neck. But it might be too late anyway. Help! I'm suddenly hyper-aware of the screaming pain in my ankle, and I feel it giving out. So are my arms, burning with the strain of trying to hold Jenna up. I press my face against her chest, feeling myself start to give up on everything. Then suddenly the weight disappears and I feel Jenna lift up several inches into the air. I look up and see Carl next to me, his big arms easily able to keep the fox off the ground. Not only that, but he's got a knife in one hand. I recognize it as the same knife Carl had used earlier in the hallway. Carl! I sob in relief as he sets to sawing at the rope, and soon all three of us come crashing to the ground as Jenna's cut free. We lay there in a heaving heap. The only sound is is our gasps as we all try to catch our breaths, Jenna being the loudest. After a while, I sit up and look over at her. She's already sitting herself up, one hand to her neck, rubbing it. Are you okay? I reach out to her. I'm fine. She leans away a little from my hand, so I drop it. I thought you were gonna die, Jenna. My voice is all shuddery as I struggle to keep my emotions under control, to not have a panic attack. Whatever was controlling this whole scenario just tried to kill one of us. But then I guess that's already happened with the shadow creature thing, and even with what's happened to Raven. Jenna picks up the knife and brings it to her neck, starting to saw away at the rope. I can help. She ignores me. I look over at Carl and see that he's flat on his back, arms spread out. Thank you, Carl. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't shown up. Carl raises a hand in acknowledgement. How the hell did you get a knife? Carl takes a few more gasps to catch his breath.
I heard. You guys and saw that.
He gestures up at the hanging rope, the end of it frizzled out after the cut.
Remember that the knife I dropped when we were here before.
Thank God. We lay there a while longer, Jenna busy hacking at the rope, Carl choosing to stare up at the ceiling. That almost peaceful silence is shattered as a husky stumbles into the doorframe, grasping at the wall as he practically trips in.
Oh, hey guys.
He grins, waving a hand at us as he rights himself. He looks around at us, taking in the scene.
What happened?
Jenna got hanged. Carl cut her down. There's really no way to sugarcoat it.
Oh, crap! Did it cut off?
No, it worked.
Oh, crap! He's just funny. I think Raven's like one of my favorite side characters because I like kind of how cute his personality is.
Like the entire time he's on screen, he's just like he's just screaming, hands over his face and eyes, pulling at his ears.
His ears. Oh no! Just freaking out.
We're all gonna die.
Oh no! Guys, there's a smoke monster! Oh no!
No. Wait.
No!
Wait.
He's just fun to voice, I swear. Go on.
He stares wide-eyed at Jenna.
Well, guess it's surprising it wasn't me this time, huh?
He lets out a high-pitched, nervous laugh. He's Michael Jackson. None of us even crack a smile.
You're okay, though?
Fine. Raven looks around the room.
Well, it looks like we're still here.
Carl lets out a big, shuddery breath.
I don't know if I can do this anymore.
What do you mean?
We're stuck. I don't know what else we're supposed to do.
Just keep looking around. We're finding stuff, right?
And then what? Get sucked into another fucked up place where we'll be chased around and almost killed?
He waves his hand in Jenna's direction.
Look what just happened. It wants us dead.
Carl. I trail off.
What?
I try to think of something to say, anything that might convince the ram to keep going. Just a while ago, minutes, hours, days, I was having the same doubts. But for some reason, Carl's sudden demeanor of defeat has me more motivated. Because if Carl gives up, what else is there to keep me going? There's a soft snap, and I look over to see that Jenna's pulled the rope from her throat. How's your neck? Jenna rubs it. Fine. Her voice has an air of complete disinterest despite the situation. She seems distracted, too, her eyes flickering around at the ceiling like she's expecting something to happen up there. I look up too, but all I see is concrete that's spider-webbed with cracks. The rope, I notice, is hanging from nothing. Just sort of grows out of the ceiling. Carl lets out another sigh next to me.
Wish I had a joint.
I feel a small flicker of annoyance. And how will that help anything? Carl's quiet for a moment, sensing the change in my mood. I immediately regret it, but I don't have the energy to take it back.
Because it might make me feel a little better.
By making you feel less? We need to be alert right now so we can figure this out. I bring my tone back down to normal, realizing how unfair it would be if I get mad at Carl right now.
I don't know if we can, though.
Carl's lips tug down into a frown, and it looks like he's trying to keep himself from crying. Before I can say anything to comfort him, Jenna speaks up. You will? Her voice is dark, firm, and completely unlike the way Jenna has ever spoken before. We both look at her and she just sits there, legs crossed, staring hard at us. Well, at me. Carl sits up.
Jenna.
Jenna doesn't look at him. Instead, she keeps looking at me.
John?
Now she does look at Carl, and it's out of instinct, her eyes darting to him before looking back at me. I recognize it as an almost unstoppable urge to look the way you hear your name being called. Yeah, we'd suspected, and Jenna had been acting weird, but to think that she was that consumed by him. Carl glances at me meaningfully. We haven't asked her directly about it yet, so I guess now's the time. Hey, Jenna. Are you feeling okay? I'm feeling fine. It's just that you haven't seemed like yourself for a while now. What do you mean? I look over at Carl as he shifts himself around on the floor.
Listen, when we first got here, and even a little before then, I was feeling weird.
Carl pauses as he seems to be searching for the right words.
Sort of like something else had become a part of me.
Jenna narrows her eyes at Carl, but doesn't say anything.
There was another voice in my head almost, and after a while I knew it was that guy, James, in my head.
Sounds like you're going crazy. Carl frowns.
Maybe. But he was making me act different, feel different. And it was kind of fucked up, to be honest.
Weird.
Yeah, weird. But it was easy to get him out of my head.
Carl points at his horns.
And now he's not there anymore.
Jenna keeps that stern look on her face, frowning at Carl. What are you trying to say?
Well, do you know a guy named John? John Begay?
Not really. You keep mentioning him, but no one's told me who he is, aside from the fact that he was hanged. I remember the picture I'd taken of John back in Carl's crawlspace. My hands feel my phone through my pocket as I almost reach in to pull it out before remembering that it's dead. He was in some of the pictures with James Hendricks, the founder of the town. Jenna stares at me blankly. James was Carl's ancestor, right? We think that John was your ancestor too. He was a fox and has the same last name. So wasn't your family an echo since the beginning? Yes. So it seems like you're probably related to him, right? Jenna stares hard at me, then Carl. Our family doesn't have records like yours, Carl. Carl frowns again.
You say that like it's my fault.
Maybe it is. Carl starts to sputter again, but I cut in before he can defend himself. See? Jenna doesn't talk like that. You wouldn't say something like that. Jenna doesn't say anything, keeping her glare at Carl. Carl clears his throat nervously.
What I'm trying to say is that maybe your ancestor is in your head like mine was.
I don't think so. Carl lets out a frustrated sigh.
I mean, something's different with you, dude. I can see it. Chase sees it.
I nod in confirmation. Raven suddenly cuts in.
I mean, I don't know you that well, but if we're going by how a normal person acts, you're not acting very normal.
We're not in a normal situation like that, are we? Carl shakes his head.
I know you can resist it like I did. Jenna, you've always been, a real strong... Oh, you've always had a really strong mind. Way stronger than mine.
Carl swallows.
So it shouldn't be a problem for you to stop it like I did.
Jenna shrugs. Nothing's wrong with me, Carl. We all go quiet then. Besides, this isn't about clearing James's name or whatever. Why are we talking about John? Jenna stares at Carl, eyes moving across his face like she's searching for something. Carl stares hard right back at her.
Unless... you don't want to fight it?
Jenna's expression remains emotionless.
I mean, are you letting him?
I don't know, Carl. Are you letting him control you?
No, I already told you I fought him out.
How do we know that's true? Carl throws his hands up.
Dude, why would I lie?
Carl looks at me for some help. Yeah, Carl's way different than he was earlier. He's himself now. But how do you know that? I don't know what else to say to Jenna to convince her. Of course, I can't be completely sure. The only person that can know is Carl, and he says he isn't possessed anymore, and I trust him on that.
Jenna, he isn't. I promise.
You think James kept his promises? Carl and I share a look. Jenna? What do you mean by that? A strange look crosses Jenna's face, breaking out of the stoic detachment that she's been portraying for the last however long it's been. It's confused, but it's also like she wants to say something with her mouth open. Jenna? She seems to be frozen like that for a moment before she seems to finally give up, shaking her head. I don't know. She glares at Carl. He blanches defensively.
What? You keep acting like this is my fault.
Maybe it is. This time Raven cuts in before Carl can say anything.
Is James stopping John from saying something?
I watch Jenna closely, and that's when she finally looks away. I don't know. Jenna, are John and James upset with one another? Jenna shrugs, not looking at me. Carl lets out a sigh of frustration.
Oh, Jenna, we need to figure this out.
Listen, I don't know much about these guys. In fact, I don't know anything. But it sounds like James and John are trying to tell us something, and
Raven looks back and forth between Carl and Jenna.
and trying to stop the other from telling us something.
I rub my face with my hands, feeling frustrated, just wishing these two assholes could tell us what it is they want to say. So, they're trying to tell us something about the past, and they both don't want us to know what the other knows.
Maybe that's what we're supposed to figure out.
It's not so simple as just clearing James's name. John has something to say too, and he sure as hell wants us to hear it. So I close my eyes. We're stuck in the middle of a possessed ghost fight, with each of them trying to tell us their version of a story. The whole thing seems ridiculous, insane. But I really don't have anything else to go off of.
Did you find anything out about them in the crawl space?
I try to think back. Like I've said, they both got convicted of sodomy. John was hanged and James left to start his ice cream business.
So, why wasn't James hanged too?
His influence in the town, probably.
Well, I can see how that might cause problems between the two of them.
I look over at Carl, who's still looking at Jenna. Jenna's picking at the rope in her lap. Hey, did James tell you anything while you were under his influence? Like, did he say anything? Carl rubs his chin.
Not really. It's weird. I just sort of felt different. I said things I wouldn't normally say, but I guess I never really heard any voices.
There isn't much more to talk about at this point. Unless one of the spirits decides to do something else that can help us along somehow. So, what are we supposed to do exactly? Raven points at the back of the room.
There's a door there.
We all look back in the direction he's pointing. Sure enough, there's a door there. It's a concrete door practically cut out of the wall. It's featureless aside from a rusty metal handle. What? Was that there before?
I think I would have seen it the first time I looked in.
Jenna stands up, taking a few steps towards the door.
What? So we're just gonna go through another door?
Carl's laying back on the floor on his back, staring up at the ceiling again. I can understand where he's coming from. Another door to possibly another nightmare. But his sudden reluctance is making it easier for me to find the strength to keep going. I reach out, resting a hand on his. Carl, this might be the last one. It might be the way out. Carl snorts.
Seriously, dude? You think they're just gonna let us go? We've accomplished nothing.
We can leave you here if you'd prefer. I glare at Jenna, but she's not even looking at me, instead staring at the concrete door. Carl, we have to keep moving. If we go through another door, we're at least going somewhere.
Yeah. And besides, the bad stuff has only happened to me and Jenna. So you guys probably have nothing to worry about.
We can't stay here forever. I gently stroke the back of Carl's furry hand. He laughs again.
Maybe we could. Just keep pulling grilled cheese sandwiches out of the cupboard, even though they taste like, I don't know, wax? Bitch.
Even though they taste like American cheese.
Miracle Whip.
They taste like American cheese. It's just plastic.
It's not real cheese. all the people that aren't Americans are like, what's American cheese?
So guys, if you don't know, real cheese melts when you heat it up. American cheese burns.
Yeah, isn't that like Velveeta? No, Velveeta melts.
It's that flat cheese that you can get in squares.
Yeah, the singles,
Yeah.
Kraft singles.
Yeah.
They don't even call it cheese anymore. It's actually like cheese substitute or something weird like that.
Yeah, it's like oil and food coloring and just other disgusting things.
Yeah, and it's also kind of interesting that depending on the country that you're in, it can be named different.
Mm-hmm.
So here we call it like a cheese substitute, and then I look over in like the EU, like they can't call it cheese at all. Like the word cheese can't even be in the description because it's absolutely not cheese.
They're just like, we know what real cheese is. This is not real cheese.
Yeah, this is not cheese.
Carl props himself up on his elbows.
Who knows? Maybe I can get some weed out of there.
Carl looks back out into the hallway, apparently seriously considering that. Come on, man. We're all going in together. I reach out both my arms to him expectantly, since I can't get up on my own. Carl stares at them contemplatively for a moment, then finally gets to his feet and pulling me up into his back with a loud grunt.
All right, man. But if this freaky, spooky ghost dimension goes on for another fucking door, I'm gonna pull a joint from that magical cupboard.
Of course, and also, yay, uppies!
Yay, uppies!
Jenna's already standing in front of the door, clearly not interested in our uppies.
Oh man, I don't want to pass out again. We just did that.
I look back towards the hallway. You know, maybe we should check the rest. Jenna reaches forward to grab up the metal handle and, before any of us can say anything more, she yanks it open. A trail leads through the desert landscape, and cacti and boulders obscure my view on either side.
It'd
The
be funny
ground.
if instead of her opening the door, she just pulls herself violently towards the door and smacks her nose into it. I'm just gonna pull open this concrete door. Oh fuck! The concrete door weighs as much as a concrete door. Who would have thought?
Oh man. She pulls at it, the chain comes out, and you just see like one of those like clown things go out. It's like bing! Like a little sparkler shoots out. Good job!
Oh no, actually, she pulls out the handle, and the handle comes off, and like you hear this like loud, like air sound or like something filling up, and it just has like this big like balloon word just shows up.
Yeah.
They're like, gotcha!
Blitz just like pops his head out, makes a unicorn out of a balloon, hands it to her, disappears again.
Right. Yeah, and he grabs the handle out of her hand and slaps it back on as he disappears in a little hole.
The ground is rocky, and dust kicks up with each step I take. As I continue up the path, I can see the 3 peaks of the Demonio Mountains in front of me. I'm heading towards the town of Echo, just over the mountains. As I get closer, I realize that the trail branches off towards the side of the mountain. I follow the trail with my eyes into the hazy distance, almost disappearing into the heat waves. Still, I can make out a small, dark hole. The mines. Some things should be left alone. Dust swirls intently at the mouth of the mine, almost sparkling in the bright noon light. Every single person here. Something seems to pulse out of the entrance, sending an almost visible wave through the air. You will never escape. You will always come back. Red seeps out from the hole, running up the side of the mountain and away before turning rock and dust the color of blood. You will always be running in circles. I start jogging up the trail, panting in the desert heat, not sure what I'm doing. The sky in front of me lights up the same ominous red color in the direction of Echo. Somehow, I'm able to scale the side of the mountain in just seconds. I get to the peak and look over the edge, and I see the town. But it's not the town I remember. At least, not all of it. Lake Emma is in the distance to my left. The motel and supermarket are to the right, but the ruins by the lake aren't just old foundation remnants anymore. They're fully standing now with their log walls and roofs. Several dozen more houses run up the side of the lake, standing in stark contrast to the more modern buildings further away towards Main Street. There are even a few buildings that I don't recognize. And there, just below me, is Carl's house. But it's different. The mansion is bigger. The walls are a lighter color. It looks older. Somehow I'm already there. Just like I teleported straight down to stand on the road in front of Carl's house. I stare down the slope towards the town, and there, next to the road, is a wooden platform built out under a tree. There's a rope hanging from the tree. A noose. I look back down at the town, all of the different buildings. No matter which structure I'm looking at, one thing's the same. They're all lit up blood red. I watch as what looks like spinning blades come slowly into focus above me.